Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Davy Wavy, here with a new video for you. Welcome to the 6th part of What If Himawari Was Older? Things are starting to heat up, but before that, I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So, we begin. The village hidden in the leaves is rarely ever quiet. There's always someone doing something. On this particular morning, we see our heroine in a clearing. She held shuriken in each of her hands. Himawari's eyes were pure white, with the veins on her face being enlarged. She had a gentle hold on her throwable weapons as her eyes focused on her multiple targets, the most important of which was actually on the backside of the tree on the other side of the clearing. She took many deep breaths, getting ready for when she heard the voice of her master. She'd started training under Sasuke Uchiha, and it was entirely foreign to her. Imagine someone who felt familiar but only gave off coldness. To her, that was Sasuke. Thanks to her Byakugan, she could see the man perfectly despite him being in what was technically her peripheral vision. It was rather weird. Perhaps he knew she could see him and that was why he looked so closed off and aloof. It was concerning to the young Uzumaki, who usually got to see people in a natural state when she spied with her eyes. Stop focusing on me and concentrate on the targets. Your eyes give you an advantage in these things, but the influx of information will also be your greatest energy. Ignore what's not necessary. Focus on the targets. Sasuke's sagely words were tinged with just the slightest bit of sarcasm which would drive anyone without her determination completely insane. Thankfully, Himawari got enough of that from Hanabi, who was her mother's younger sister. So even if she was embarrassed at being caught staring, she shrugged it off and refocused on her targets, once again waiting to be sprung into action by the words of her new master. She felt herself drawing imaginary lines in the air, the trajectory of her shuriken, the impact they would make in the air, everything that would make her shuriken throw perfect. She was in the zone. Now! Himawari heard Sasuke's words and sprung to action. She took a half step forwards, her hands moving rapidly, in a circular manner, picking up speed and momentum. The young ninja flicked her hands forward, both shurikens spinning and flowing out from her hands at high speeds. The wicked sharp projectiles spiraled across the air. The way they flew over the air was certain and true, and just like planned, her shuriken had flown across the air and collided. Before Himawari could focus on the outcome of this exchange, she had to move on to the second, and harder part of the exercise. From her pouch, Himawari pulled a kunai and aimed. She only had a very short window of time, so perhaps her timing would cause her to fail. And so, she threw her kunai. The two shuriken that impacted had created an interesting scenario. One had nearly passed all of its momentum off to the other one, bending its trajectory in another direction. In this scenario, the kunai was supposed to hit the shuriken which was now inert, causing it to once again hit the first kunai and further bend its trajectory. I say supposed to, because what actually happened was her kunai hit the useless shuriken too hard and sent it flying in a completely useless direction. This also caused the first shuriken to hit a random tree, and for the kunai to impact a rock and fail at hitting any target. You're overdoing it. Himawari heard the words of her sensei and took a deep sigh. Sorry, it's just, this is Sarada's thing. Like her specialty. She's your daughter after all, so this feels wrong in a weird way. Sasuke rolled his eyes, which Himawari clearly saw. The tired man walked in front of her, holding a hand in front of her with what looked like a hand sign. Himawari looked in amazement as a dozen or so puffs of smoke appeared around her in a circle. Her eyes turned back to a normal blue as she turned around in a circle to look at each of the different Sasukes around her. Each one was perfect and indistinguishable from the real one. It was sort of surreal. Even if she had seen her father be cloned dozens of times before, seeing how it stood to scrutiny and seeing so many from someone who was not her father was impressive. If that were true, should this not be your specialty? Naruto is your father, is he not? Come on now, show me your shadow clones. Himawari was shocked, bamboozled, flabbergasted even, completely emotionally destroyed on a spiritual level. Sasuke had a point. If skills were truly genetic, she'd be a carbon copy of her dad. A ninja cannot be a one-trick pony if he wants to succeed. You have to be more. You want to succeed, be more than the normal. Those ideas of being like your parents will just hold you down. Do you really want to just be your father? Himawari was red-faced and embarrassed from the scolding she was receiving. Sorry, sir. You're right. I have to be better. Let's try again. Sasuke nodded with a small smile that Himawari somehow missed. Very well. Let's give it another try. Things in the world were starting to heat up, even beyond the Chunin exams in Konoha. Within the land of Takigakure, there was a large beast. It looked like a large rhinoceros beetle with plated armor across its body. Growing from its abdomen were 7 protrusions, 6 of them being large bug-like wings, with the 7th one being a large stinger-like tail. It was powerful, as if its pure aura was suffocating. However, not to everyone. Far above the beast of 7 tails was a pair of men with pure white skin, with equally white hair and eyes. The larger of the two was holding the other, as if the smaller of the two were superior. Lord Momoshiki, should we not be going after the bigger of the 2 chakra signatures? I'm sure that with your magnificence, nothing could stand your might. Are you questioning my judgment, mongrel? The smaller man, Momoshiki, held a complete control over the other man. It was as if Momoshiki held him like a puppet, pulling him to and from with the slightest touch. The 2 men were forced to move off to the side as a black ball of pure power had flown up at them. The attack held pressure that threatened to pull up the earth, yet the 2 men were entirely unbothered. The ball flew up, scattering the clouds and shattering the heavens. It was a terrifying display of pure, unbridled power. But even so, the 2 people floated over the earth without much of an issue. It was as if they were flaunting their superiority, not even giving the powerful beast of 7 tails the time of day. Finally, the 2 of them rocketed down to begin their attack. The beast flew up, flapping its powerful wings to send blades of winds at the men. They dodged easily, the smaller one holding one of his hands out as the blades of wind were absorbed into his palm. The older man simply powered through, landing over the beast and swinging down, using both of his hands to hammer down at the beast, sending it crashing straight into the ground. The beast tried to fight back, to crash its wings against the assailants in a desperate attack. The large man simply charged energy in his hand. The energy became a large axe which was swung and completely severed the wings of the beast. The beast failed. Momoshiki, who hadn't even been moved by the strong gale force winds, simply flew up to the face of the beast, looking at the fear in his eyes. Momoshiki didn't care. He placed his palm on the head of the beast, the Rinnegan in his palm opening up as the absorption process began once again. The energy was pulled from the beast, slowly bringing down its size, until Momoshiki was satisfied. In his hand were now a couple of pure black pills. My, what a pitiful amount. Disgusting. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in part 6 of this What If. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to extend you an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members from 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interests by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching. And I hope we see you around for our next episode of What If Himawari Was Older?